An accused baby killer is all smiles in a Florida courtroom after being freed from jail on
She's
bond.
smiling. That's the first thing you need to understand. A young woman accused of letting her own newborn die is standing in a Florida courtroom, and she's smiling. Nearly 2 years after that morning in a college dorm bathroom, Brianna Moore walked out of a jail cell on a $250,000 bond. Freed, relieved, almost relaxed. And somewhere out there, 3 former roommates are still living with the sound they heard through a locked door. Here's the thing, though. This isn't really a story about a crime anymore. It's a story about what happens after. About what a system decides someone deserves once the worst has already happened. Let's back up. April 2024, University of Tampa. A 19-year-old freshman on a partial marine biology scholarship wakes up not feeling well early one morning and heads to a bathroom she shares with 3 other girls. She says she didn't know she was pregnant. Not suspected, not in denial, at least not consciously, just didn't know. And look, maybe you believe that, maybe you
Freed
don't.
from jail on bond.
I know you delivered. The baby cried, and then did you pretty much immediately grab up the baby to make sure that roommates weren't hearing what was going on?
I mean, I just kind of put its head like right here-ish, and it stopped.
But by the time she comes out of that bathroom, according to the affidavit, there is no baby crying anymore. Her roommates heard it, though. All 3 of them. 2 thought they were dreaming and went back to sleep. 1 tried the door. It was locked. She heard Moore say sorry through it, and then she left for work like it was any other Saturday. Not an accident, that door being locked. Not an accident, the timing. When the 3rd roommate finally got up and walked into that bathroom, she described it as a nightmare. Blood on the floor. She filmed it, sent it to the others.
That's when it clicked for all of them, all at once, what they'd actually heard hours earlier. And this is the part nobody really sits with. Campus safety was told there might have been a miscarriage. EMS came. Moore told them the blood was from her period, that she wasn't pregnant, and they found no signs otherwise and left. The system checked the box, moved on. It took a bloody towel in a trash can the next
They're
day.
all witnesses to all of this, and if their accounts are similar, that's going to be compelling for the prosecution. So we'll have to wait and see what happens there. Now, we already mentioned this brief summary earlier of what Moore allegedly told police, but audio recordings of 2 of her interviews were released, and the first taking place on April 28th. This is the day after she allegedly gave birth. Here's how that went.
You had
A roommate's friend, using a styrofoam container so she wouldn't touch it directly, felt something firm inside. That's how they found her. I need you to stay with me here, because this is where it stops being simple.
But after like a few seconds, it was dead.
How long did the baby cry for? Because I know all the roommates.
In her interview with detectives, Moore says the baby cried for maybe 5 seconds.
Okay.
And then I just woke up not feeling good yesterday morning. So I went to the bathroom. I was puking, whatever, and then, yeah, but after like a few seconds, it was dead.
That she held her against her chest. That she didn't feel a
She
heartbeat.
hadn't had her period in around a year, but says that she attributed that to the fact that she had stopped using a birth control patch. And the detectives know that this is a delicate situation, but they also need details from Moore about what happened.
So you went to the bathroom and obviously had a baby. Did you deliver the placenta as well?
That she wrapped her in a towel, went to sleep, and when she woke up, she just didn't know what to do. The autopsy tells a different part of the story. Multiple fractured ribs along the spine, petechial hemorrhaging in the lungs, the kind you see with suffocation. The medical examiner ruled it a homicide. And then there are the texts. Nearly a year before any of this, allegedly, Moore and a contact are trading messages about backup plans if birth control fails. Plan A,
condoms. Plan B, the pill. Plan C, according to the messages, was something else entirely. And her reply, allegedly, that's my favorite. A judge has already ruled those messages can't come in at trial unless the door opens for them. Actually, let me say that more precisely. They're not evidence of what happened in that bathroom. They're evidence of what a prosecutor wants a jury to believe about who Brianna Moore is. There's a difference, and it's one this whole case is going to hinge on. Here's where it gets interesting.
Her defense isn't denying most of the facts. They're arguing something called a cryptic pregnancy, that she dissociated during labor, that trauma can shut a person's judgment down in ways that look, from the outside, like coldness. A forensic neuropsychologist is expected to testify to exactly that. So which is it? A panicked, dissociating teenager who made catastrophic decisions in 20 minutes of terror? Or someone who planned an outcome months in advance and executed it in a locked bathroom while her roommate slept 20 feet away? I'll be honest with you about something. I don't know. And I think that's uncomfortable to sit with, because we want these stories to resolve clean. We want a villain we can be angry at without complication. This one won't give you that yet. What we do know is what happened this week. The defense asked to send her home to Mississippi to await
Or
trial.
would have already been pregnant. Although whether she knew about her pregnancy, that's up for debate. Now I'm going to warn you, these alleged messages are unpleasant. In the messages, Moore and a contact named Kasim are talking about what are sometimes referred to as morning after pills or abortion pills. And again, I'm going to warn you, this is delicate, this is disturbing. But Kasim...
The judge said no, worried about what happens if she runs and there's no way to bring her back. So she stays in Hillsborough County, under an ankle monitor thick enough that a defense attorney walked it up to the bench just to prove it couldn't be cut off.
Did you grab the baby up close to make sure that nobody could hear anything?
Yeah, I just put its head against my chest.
And was it just to quiet the baby?
I mean, well, to hold it, because I just had a baby.
I
I was
know.
like, oh my God.
You study biology, correct?
Mm-hmm.
Do you know what petechial hemorrhages are?
She has 1 week to find somewhere to live. She has 48 cents to her name, and she's not going anywhere. Not because the court trusts her, because she has nowhere to go and no way to get there. No passport, no valid license, no money. Freedom, in this case, looks a lot like just being watched more closely. Trial starts in November. A jury is going to have to decide, using 20 minutes in a bathroom and every piece of evidence prosecutors can build around it, whether this was a young woman failed by every system meant to catch her before it happened, or whether this was something she chose. So here's what I want to know from you. When you watch that footage of her smiling in court, what do you see? A person relieved to finally breathe? Or someone who already knows how this ends? Tell me in the comments, because I genuinely don't think there's an easy answer here, and I want to hear yours.